Oh, good afternoon, everybody. It's Anne here, the Stress Whisperer again. So, I want to talk to you about something called willpower, which in my day, when I was young, we had a lot of. I used to smoke. In my day, I could smoke anywhere I wanted, hospitals, cinemas, anywhere. And I would smoke 40 a day, and I loved it more than life itself. I love smoking. And then one day I woke up and realised that I thought I'd be ill if I didn't give it up. I couldn't afford it now, but that's how I felt. So I planned, and this is what you need to do with losing weight as well. You need to plan. What are you going to do? When are you going to eat? What are you going to eat? How are you going to exercise? What happens if you can't get a snack or to food? What happens if you feel hungry? You've got to have all these plans in place. So what I did was I gave up smoking with a book, and I got a pickled onion jar, and you had to fill it with water, and you had to really smoke a cigarette. So and you really made your chest sore, and then you put it in the pickled onion water in my case, and then when you fancied a cigarette over the next 24 hours, then it's aversion therapy. So you opened the jar and had a sniff, and believe me, that put you off then as well. But you have to have willpower, because even though I wanted to do it, there were times over that first month where I could quite have easily had a cigarette. And I said to my friends that I had thought about having a cigarette, but if all my friends died tomorrow and people go, "Oh, I'm so stressed, I need a cigarette," or something, that wouldn't help. And I also did an exercise where you had to take your pulse rate, and it raises your pulse rate. So again, people think smoking actually relaxes you, but it doesn't, it stimulates you. That's why you put on weight. It's not just the fact that you're eating polo mints and sweets. It actually does increase your metabolism. So what I did was I planned a month, and I knew I wasn't going to go out for dinner because I didn't want to drink, because if I had a drink, I'd want a cigarette. I got all my jumpers out, and I got a deballer, and I went over all my jumpers to make sure I'd got any washing marks off. So I had my hands occupied in the evening when I was at home. I made sure I had post-it notes in the office and round my home going, "You're not having a cigarette," because again, in those days, you'd pick up the phone, sweet old fashioned phone, and have a conversation. First thing you would do would be to light a cigarette. So you have to plan. And again, you have to have willpower. Sometimes you just have to say no. So, the beauty of techniques now, like with tapping, that if you are absolutely ravenously hungry, you can tap, or you can do a bit of NLP, or you can do something along those lines. But you do need to say no. However much you're craving it, you still need to say no. And the more you say no, like everything, the easier it becomes. And what I usually say is, if you still want it in 15 minutes, then have it. But say no, go and do something else, have your plans in place for that. Go and put hand cream on, because nothing tastes very nice when you've had hand cream on. Or go and clean your teeth, because again, once you've cleaned your teeth, sometimes when you taste things, it's a bit strange, isn't it? You've got to have your plans to succeed and keep the weight off for life. And I know we're looking for an easy fix, and people think the jabs are instead of willpower, so suddenly people don't want to eat. But also remember that when you have the jabs, you're not necessarily getting your nutrition. So it's good to eat really good, proper food, but you need to watch what you're eating as well. And so remember, say no. And as I said, the more you do that, the easier it gets. 15-minute rule, but you'll find that you don't want that food. And so you've just saved a couple of hundred calories by having a plan, changing what you're doing, distracting yourself. It's like training a dog. When you're distracting them from another dog, you're distracting yourself from the food. So let me know how you distract yourself or what you do, and contact me either on TikTok or by my email, anne@stresswhisperer.co.uk. I'd love to know how you all do it.